One of the powerful features of Mental Mill is that complex shader graphs can be collapsed into a single node which contains an entire shader network inside. Such a collapsed shader graph is called a phenomenon. A phenomenon just exposes a few parameters to the user while constant parameters remain hidden. A phenomenon is the perfect way to bundle complex shader graphs and hide their underlying complexity. Using a phenomenon makes it easier to keep an overview over the effect, and it facilitates your general workflow in Mental Mill. We create a phenomenon by selecting the entire shader network. In this case, we select all nodes of the flood shader effect. After the selection, we right-click on the workspace and select Create New Phenomenon from Selection from the pop-up menu. We're asked to type in a name for the phenomenon we are going to create. Let's call this node Flood FX. As you can see, a new node is created. We can open this node. As you can see, it contains the entire shader network. Currently, the result of our phenomenon is black because we didn't connect our shader network with the output. So, connect the result of the color mixer to the result of the phenomenon. Since our shader network contains many nodes, we will only expose parameters to the interface that we want the user to tweak. In this case, we want to modify the level of the water surface. The parameter controlling that is the compression center of the color compress node. We can easily expose the parameter to our interface by right-clicking it and selecting Add Compression Center to Flood FX. You can see that the parameter is added to the interface. Now it can be modified from the outside. If we want to modify the color of the water too, we can also expose the water color. The name Compression Center is actually a bad name for a controller that drives the height of the water surface. So we rename it by right-clicking it and we call it Water Level, which is a much better description. So once we're done with our phenomenon, we can collapse it. You see now that we have two interface parameters in our phenomenon, while the other parameters that we're never going to touch are hidden inside. Finally, we can store the phenomenon in our toolbox for later usage. So let's create a palette in our toolbox which we will call Phenomena. When we right-click our flood phenomenon, you can see that we have the option to add it to a palette. As you see, our node is added immediately. You can now create an arbitrary number of instances of your phenomenon on your workspace. Once you apply changes to your phenomenon on the workspace by adding additional nodes or exposing new interface parameters, the phenomenon in your workspace gets out of sync with the phenomenon stored in the palette. You notice this when you try to create an instance of your phenomenon. A warning is issued that the phenomenon is out of sync with the one in the workspace. If you want to apply the changes you made to the phenomenon that's stored in the palette, you have to sync it. In this clip, you learned how to create and store a phenomenon. Phenomena are very useful for various reasons. A phenomenon acts the same way as a single shader node. Using phenomena gives you a better overview of your workspace. You can, of course, use a phenomenon within another phenomenon or integrate it into another shader graph. Phenomena are reusable, which is great if you built some kind of tool phenomenon that performs a certain task. Phenomena let you hide underlying complexity, showing just a few dedicated parameters to the outside. Phenomena are a great way for creating material libraries which can be stored in a palette. This concludes this video tutorial on how to work with phenomena in Mental Mill. We hope you liked it, and don't forget to visit our forum and our website. Thanks for watching. Shade safe and have a nice day.